All right, everybody, and welcome to the Touch of Gaming podcast, episode number 136. As always, I'm your host, Lloyd Hannison, and joining me this week, Jared Schultz. Jared, you join me every week. I don't know why I say this week, but I do. That's one of the things I say.
Yeah, there's a time where you kind of rotated through, but I've kind of been the normal lately.
You're a normie.
Yeah.
I'll call you Norm. Everybody knows your name, Jared. That's why we can call you Norm.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Well, apologies for not having a show out last week. I had some last minute work that cropped up, and I had to take off.
Hey, Lloyd. Hey, Anthony. Keep up the great work with the Touch of Game.
That was a weird thing. How did I hit that? That's not even possible. Wow. That was bizarre. Yeah, I know I had a weird work thing pop up, and I had to take off right before the show started, which was not cool. So, but I'm here, and we're ready to do the show. So thanks for your patience, guys, and thanks for all the emails and other things that came in asking if we were okay, because we are. We are.
No problems here.
No. So Jared, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. Just keeping on, getting ready. Things are warming up.
Nice.
Are you finally warm at all there?
Oh yeah. It was 26 yesterday and 24 today.
Oh wow, that sounds balmy for you.
Yeah, I mean it's not bad. We are in Winnipeg after all.
Yeah, that's true.
26 C2F. I'll do the conversion. 78.8 degrees, so not bad.
Yeah, we actually hit 80, so it was a little hot.
Well, and you're a lot souther than we are, so that we're pretty close to you. That's kind of scary.
Yeah, well, we're also near the coast too.
That's true, I guess.
Anyway, enough talking about the weather.
All right, fine. I won't talk about the weather anymore. Before we get too much into the show, just want to make mention that we're a member of the Tech Podcast Network. Find out other podcasts like this one over at techpodcasts.com. All right, Jared, enough chit-chatter. Let's get into the show. We got a fair bit of news. I got a little review to do before we do our reviews. So we got a lot of content. So let's start it off the way we always do. Jared, what games you been playing on your iOS devices?
Oh, that's a good way to start out. So I have been playing quite a few things. First and most awesome is whenever I can get iPad time, I've been playing this game called Eclipse. And it has a really long title. It's like Eclipse.
Uh-oh. Did we just lose Jared? We just lost Jared. What's happening here? Oh, boy. Oh, that's awesome. We totally lost him. That was so bizarre. All right, well, how about I start it off while we try to get reconnected with Jared? Dang it, internet not playing nice with us. Oh, there he is. He's back.
I'm here.
Are you live?
I'm here.
You totally froze up, and then I saw the reconnection thing, and your face became a Tim Hortons coffee cup, and now you're back. That was really, really bizarre.
Why would my face become a Tim Hortons coffee cup?
Because that's my icon in Skype, so that's all I could see on the screen was Tim Hortons coffee cup. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never drinking a cup of Tim Hortons coffee in my life, so just want to throw that out there. Anyway.
Wow, you elitist.
What did you hear me say about Eclipse?
You said, I've been playing a game called Eclipse.
Okay,
and it
has a really funny, crazy title. It's like Dawn of a New Galaxy or something like that. The game is really fantastic. It's a iOS version of a board game, and the board game was kind of one of the most popular of last year and is still really highly ranked. And I really am a huge fan of board games, and I never actually bought this one because it was going long. It was like 45 minutes a player, and I just don't have time for a 3-hour board game with people.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have quite a few, or I have friends that I get together and play board games with every other week. So was really excited to see this one and to try it on iOS because, I might as well try it out for $7 instead of 60.
I was going to say $7, but yeah, that's,
yeah,
I know exactly what it is replacing. So yeah, that seems like a fair price.
Yeah, and it is really, really good. It kind of is a 4X game in space, which is a fun theme, but it also has an end to it, so it's not like you're going to get really sucked into this like a Civilizations and play it forever. Because I found that I was able to actually get through an entire game with like 4 players in like half an hour. So it's great because it has a absolute stopping point. Once you've played so many turns, you are done, and I actually like that because it's at least limited. So this game is really, really great. If you are interested in it, and it sounds like a game that you'd be interested in, and you have access to it quite a bit, please let me know. Hit me up on Twitter or something like that, or in the forums. I would really like to get some asynchronous games going, just because I think that would make this game a lot of fun, and I would like to give that a shot. I have heard from a couple of people that the asynchronous games can be a little funny, in that they don't show you what the other players have done, but I would like to get the chance to. So if anyone's interested in it, let me know. I'd love to do the asynchronous part before I actually review this game. But here's the thing: it's going to get a really good score. And then
spoilers, come on.
So next, I've been playing the Tribes more. I reviewed it last time. It's that time sink of a game, and it got like. There's this really bizarre point. So you're at level 39, and I had 1.8 million experience. I know, I hate to admit that. But then to get to level 40, it was 2.7. So 50% more experience than you've earned your entire time playing the game in order to get to the next level. And then really weird, to get to level 41, it was only 300,000 experience. So it's almost like at one point 40 was the end game. And so they made it really hard to get to. And then they raised the level cap. And when they raised the level cap, they forgot to take away that level that was really hard to get to. So it just feels really out of place. And not only that, they gave me like a challenge that I have so many days to finish for Mother's Day. And it's like an 8-day challenge or something like that. I haven't been able to get it. And it becomes really annoying because you'll play and, like, for example, you have to collect 10 items from the field. So you'll have all your fields going and you'll try to run all your fields. And the way that they award you items is really strange, because at first you'll just get tons and tons of these items. Like every 2 or 3 that you harvest, you'll get them. And then it becomes extremely difficult. Like you won't get them until you do another 200. And they don't tell you that number. It's all random. So it can get really frustrating. Wow. And right now I am 1 item away from completing the quest, and it ends tomorrow. Oh. And I have to say, if I am not able to finish this with as much as I've tried to get it, I'm probably deleting the game. Like just being annoyed with it.
You used to play the Skylanders.
Yeah.
Whatever that game is called. They have quests. Silence. Yeah, they have quests like that now, where there's unique characters, one every month, where it's just a reskin of the other character. And the only way to get it is to spend 3,000 gems, which would cost like $40 if you paid cash, or you play this random chance thing and you get a random chance of getting this character. And they have quests that are tied into getting a random character, and it's just like, really? Not only are there characters that are unattainable, but now there's quests and quest lines, not just one quest, revolving around this random character or $40 character for an iOS game. It's getting to the point where it's like, okay, you've way jumped over the shark. I am now going to delete you from my device.
Yeah, I'm getting really close to deleting this one just because I want to play other games, and I've gotten so bad. And that's the other thing. This game now takes so long to check in. Like when I check in, it takes like 15 minutes, because you go to one island, you give your 50 guys jobs, and then you go to the next island, and it takes like a minute and a half to load your next island. I don't think it's quite that long. I think it's like 30 seconds, but still. Mm-hmm. And then you go and do that through 4 different islands, and it's just taking too long to be that game that I check in too quick. So anyway, it may finally die, which is probably fine, and then I'll be without a freemium game again.
Just a hint, Jared, there's lots of freemium games on the iOS App Store now, so you can probably choose relatively easily a replacement.
Yeah, maybe I can go actually start 3-starring my characters on Nimble Quest. They made it way easier, but we talked about that last time, right? So, anyway, then I've been playing a game called Pixel Kingdom. So this one I was turned on to by Todias, who is a regular in our chat room. It's pretty good. It has one of those 3-lane castle defense type games where you have the 3 lanes and they send different bad guys through each of the 3 lanes, and you have to send your knights and archers and wizards up the lane from the other side. I like it okay. I like Legendary Wars better. So, sorry, Todias, you're in the chat room, but I would prefer to play Legendary Wars because it looks better and is more interesting to me.
You don't like the whole pixel art anyway, so.
I like pixel art, okay. Oh, Todias just agreed with me that Legendary Wars is better. This one just feels like it's asking for money a little bit too much. They don't award you that premium currency very often, and you can't upgrade your characters long-term very easily without premium currency or without a lot of the normal currency. So if you have played Legendary Wars and Monster Wars a whole bunch, and you can't wait for their new one, which I think is called like Stellar Wars or something like that, because they couldn't use Star Wars, but
they could.
Then
the app wouldn't be there for very long, but they could.
Then I would pick up Pixel Kingdom, and then last of all, I've been picked up Heroes and Castles again. Heroes and Castles is a game that I actually intended to review here, and then the week that I was going to review it, we didn't end up doing a show because of something. I don't remember what. And they just came out with a big update. So previously there were 6 characters. There are now 9 characters. One additional is free, so now 4 of the 9 are free, and then the other ones you can earn the premium currency to unlock, and you get the premium currency pretty regularly. So I actually picked it back up to go play around with some of the new characters. I haven't unlocked the 2 new ones because I didn't have gems just sitting around to buy them. So I'm going to dig back into that one and maybe talk about it a little more.
Sure.
I really should probably interview or review that one at some point, but yeah, it's a good one. I enjoy it. So yeah, that's what I've been playing. Sorry,
cool.
That went a little longer than normal. What have you been playing, Lloyd?
I've been playing it for a bit. I'm kind of, I don't know what it is, but I think I'm starting to grow bored of the iOS like game. I don't know. Not the whole app store, but kind of the way that games are coming out these days. And I found that I'm playing too many games that are either 99 cents or free that have huge paywalls that you hit within like the first like 10 minutes of playing them. And so I'm running into a lot of that. So I think what I'm trying to do is trying to find games that are a little bit more expensive that maybe don't have that kind of freemium. Buy a bucket of gems, buy a bag of coins, whatever it is, and trying to get some more, I guess, more premium games to play something that's maybe a little bit more enjoyable. Because I found that I was getting bored of games that always have like find 3 items or get 3 stars or beat all these levels, and it was kind of grating on me. So I've been trying to play some other games. But at the same time, I've been playing some games that are free but look interesting. So picked up a game called Zoombies, which I'll be reviewing this episode. So I'll talk more about that when I get to that part of the show. Picked up a game called Gun Commando. And I picked it up because it looks like an old like Castle Wolfenstein kind of game. So like some of the first kind of first person shooters. And looked really retro, looked really awesome. Turned out that it is a playthrough level. Try to collect 3 items, get to the end of the level, start the next level, do 5 levels, and there's a boss battle. So it really wasn't what I wanted, but I still had a little bit of fun with it. It has a really interesting mechanic that every time you shoot the gun, there's no ammo. It's unlimited. But every time you shoot the gun, if you hit an enemy, your experience bar goes up. If you miss an enemy, it goes down a little bit. And every time that you upgrade your weapon, it becomes a better weapon. So you start with just a terrible gun, then it upgrades and the bullets do twice the damage, then it upgrades a bit, and they do 3 times damage, upgrades a bit, 4 times damage. He upgrades a bit, then the gun changes. It's like this gold gun that does mega damage. You get to the point where your bullets get bigger and stuff like that. And a really interesting mechanic, but at the end of the day, it's just these, it's these really weird levels where you're just kind of moving around, avoiding enemies' bullets, shooting, and getting to the exit as fast as possible. And there's 3 trophies hidden in each level, so you can seek out the 3 trophies if you really want, or you can rush from the start to the finish as fast as possible. So I'm still playing it. It's still on my iPad. Controls are a little bit twitchy, where it's it's a single stick. If you touch below the stick, you do a slide, and then to shoot, you just tap the right hand side of the screen. But then that's also where you move your view. So I'll be trying to move my view, but I touch too low, so I end up shooting. Or I'll be trying to move and I slide down too low and then I do a slide. So I'm trying to move around a corner to get away from an enemy that's shooting missiles at me. And next thing you know, I slide right towards him. So I get shot in the face as I'm sliding, and then I get up and he shoots me again. It's like, it has these really weird kind of control issues. But it's fun. I'm going to stick with it. Maybe it's something that I'll play through to finish and give a review. But it was $1, so I don't feel too ripped off. Speaking of rip, next game I've been playing is called Rip Rally, RIP Rally, which is it's a driving game. It's a freemium game, so it's totally free. And you drive around and you run over zombies. And then you also shoot zombies. So you can run over them, you take damage, or you can shoot them. And basically you're trying to get through waves of enemies to get gold. And then you use that to upgrade your vehicle so that you can get further and further. I believe it's a Chilingo game, and it was free. And it is, I don't know, really, like, it's a huge, steep paywall where you have to play like 5, like where I am now, I've played a dozen missions or whatever. I probably have to play 5 to 10 missions to get enough gold to upgrade one of my weapons. And that's replaying the same arenas over and over and over and over and over and over again. So not entirely enjoyable. So I think I'm kind of done with that one. And then today I picked up a game called Bomb Cats, which is it's a physics puzzler where you launch cats and their tail looks like a fuse on a dynamite. And when it gets to the end, the cat explodes. And you basically have to try to get your cat to the end of the level to explode a kitten that's in a cage, and then the kitten explodes. It's really, really bizarre game. Really kind of fun, though. So I've just noodled around with a few levels on that. So hopefully it'll be something that I pursue a little bit more, and maybe I'll review that one next week if it kind of sticks out a little bit. It's a freemium game, too, so there's lots of gems to collect and then upgrade your powers and yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. So we'll see if I maybe get over my tiredness of all the freemium stuff that's out there. But yeah, that's about it, man.
Sweet.
What do you say we
Should
get
we move
into
on to the news?
Yeah, let's get into the news. First off, I want to give you guys a kind of a mini review. I talked about it a while ago, but it finally came in. And I got my Pebble smartwatch. People that are watching the live stream, you can see one of the first things I did with my Pebble was make a custom watch face. Using the SDK, you can write a little C program and compile it, and then it becomes a watch face, and you can have little timers for like seconds or minutes or whatever. So mine is just like the Jets logo with the time and the date on it, and it's pretty awesome actually. So I got it about a week and a half ago. And if you're not familiar, the Pebble smartwatch was the Kickstarter that raised all sorts of money to make a watch that is connected to your iOS device. And Steven says, wow, just like a real watch. Yes, except I made the watch face. I programmed a little application that's running on my watch, which is pretty cool. But yeah, the watch itself connects with your smartphone. So mine's connected to my iPhone, and but it does support Android as well. And what it does is it pushes notifications from my phone. So if I get a text message, it actually appears on my watch, and your watch buzzes, So when people are sending me SMSs, or you can load other yeah, thanks, Steven. You can load other notifications on it as well. So if I get like a message in Google Chat, or if I get like an @ mention on Twitter, it'll actually appear on my watch. Which is really useful for me during the day because I don't always have my phone on me. I'm at work running around, but one of my coworkers might text me, and instead of having to pull out my phone or dig it out of my bag, it just buzzes right on my wrist, which is really cool. It does some other things as well. Like if someone's calling me, if people are actually using the phone to actually talk, which is really rare these days, it appears on my watch that Jared Schultz is calling, and I can choose to accept it, or more than likely, I'll just hit the ignore button, and it will actually go right to voicemail.
That's fine. I'd never call you anyway.
Sure. You say that now, Jared. But anyway, that's about it. It's not cheap. They're pre-selling right now on the website for $150. So they're not super cheap, but they're pretty useful. And today they released the I'm using SDK version 1 to write my little watch face apps. But they released version 1.1, which allows you to do data transfer between an iOS app or an Android app and the watch. So you can have an app running on your phone that connects to an app running on your watch and kind of go back and forth. So I'm trying to think of maybe some things that I do, like maybe a weather application or something that I can run on my phone and my watch and just play around that way. It's already tied into Runkeeper. So if you're an athletic person who runs a lot and you have Runkeeper on your iOS device, you can actually have it on your watch as well, which is kind of neat. I know, Jared, you're a runner, right?
Yes, I use Runkeeper regularly to track my bike rides and my running.
Oh, there you go. You can have it running right on your watch. You can start and stop your run. You can see your statistics right on your watch, which is kind of cool as well.
But isn't it iOS only?
No, and Android.
Okay, yeah, then it would work.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty limited for what it can do right now. You definitely get a better experience on Android than iOS, just because of the fact that you can have pretty much anything that appears on your screen push a notification to your device, which can then be pushed over to your phone, or sorry, can appear on your phone, which can then be pushed to your watch. iOS is a little bit more limited. Today, the Pebble guys announced that they became a made for iPhone accessory. So it looks like maybe some of the integration will be a little bit tighter because they're a partner of Apple now. So maybe some of that stuff will fix in the near future. But it's pretty cool writing a little app that appears on something that you're carrying around on your wrist all the time. It's just another little geek toy to play with. Really enjoy it. I have another one on order, which hasn't come in yet. My wife wanted one when we did the original Kickstarter, and she wanted white, which is the color that they're having the most problems making. So hopefully within a month or 2 or 3, she'll actually have one as well, and she'll be pairing it to her iPhone. But as of right now, she's insanely jealous because she works as a teacher's aide, so she can't have a cell phone on her. She can have it in her pocket, but can't use it. But she said it would be really nice to have her notifications pop up on her watch as she's doing as well. So yeah, it's the Pebble. I really kind of dig it. Check it out at getpebble.com if you want more info on it. But and if you guys want, there is a Pebble watch face directory that some person put together. It's called mypebblefaces.com. And I'll put a link in the show notes. But if you go there and you do a search for Winnipeg or Winnipeg Jets, you can actually see the watch face, and you can actually download it right to your device, which is pretty cool. I'll put a link to my actual watch face in the show notes if you guys have a Pebble and want to run my Winnipeg Jets Pebble watch face.
I'm sure that everyone will be jumping to do that.
Hey, you never know. Not everybody hates hockey like you, Jared, Mr. Basketball.
I never said that I hate hockey.
And actually,
right.
I have other watch faces on there. I got a Winnipeg Blue Bombers, so if you like the CFL, and I made a Toronto Blue Jays for my buddy because he's a big Blue Jays fan. So if you like baseball, there's a Blue Jays face that I made as well. So
is that buddy
Jeff Ward? Yeah, he's a big Blue Jays fan.
I would have never guessed.
All right, that's enough for the Pebble. Jared, what do you have to talk about?
All right, so there's an interesting thing going on. There's this game called Crabitron. Crabitron is a game where you play a giant crab and you control his claws to grab stuff. And it was kind of interesting because they, as a company, they said, we have been building this for 2 years. We want some way to kind of drum up advertising and kind of share the development experience. And they said, hey, how about we do a Kickstarter? Well, the Kickstarter, they realized they were way too late on that because the game was already made. And so then they created this, what they called a Crabstarter. And it looks identical to a Kickstarter page. However, it's completely not a Kickstarter page. And in fact, if you click back this project, it takes you to the App Store. So, and it's pretty funny. In some of the questions, it says, like, what is Crabitron? And it tells you about, it's a giant space crab simulation for iPad, possibly the only giant space crab simulation. And then it says, what is Crabstarter? After 2 years of development, we had no idea how to market it, so we decided Kickstarter. Anyway, and then the question, isn't that how you normally sell a game? Yes. So it's really how you normally sell a game, but I think they deserve a shout out because of a very, very great, just whole marketing campaign that was unique and different and caught my eye. Additionally, for people who are interested in development, they are releasing all the statistics about, what price bumps are doing to their sales, where their rankings are in all the different categories, lots of different information. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they've updated it in about a week, but it's an interesting thing to look at. And if you're interested, then we'll keep it in the show notes and publish that so you can go check out how the Crabstarter is doing. Or you can go search Crabstarter. I doubt that, otherwise Crabstarter, I doubt anyone else is going for that name. So.
You wouldn't think so anyway. Cool. All right, well, moving on, let's get into a couple quick news items before we get into the reviews. First is some news this week that Electronic Arts is porting probably one of their best known engines, their Frostbite engine. That's what they use for their games like Battlefield. It's also used with like Dragon Age and Mass Effect and stuff like that. So it's pretty big. Well, they're releasing an iOS version of Frostbite, and that is going to drive future Electronic Arts games on mobile, which is pretty interesting and kind of weird when you think that they don't even want the latest version of Frostbite running on the Wii U, which is an actual console, but they're making a concerted effort to get the engine running on iOS. But then you look at where they made their money last year, and mobile was really good to EA. Consoles, not so much. And they've ended up closing a bunch of studios and a bunch of other things like that. So maybe not so confusing after all. But anyway, it's pretty cool. So hopefully there'll be a whole rash of shooters and other RPGs from EA in the near future. EA also got the license from Disney to make all the future Star Wars games. So there's probably going to be some Frostbite powered Star Wars games coming in the future. Hopefully some of those will now make an appearance on iOS. So pretty cool news, and I'm looking forward to games coming from EA in the future, which is surprising to say because their games haven't been terrible, but they haven't been that great sometimes. So hopefully this will help things as well.
All right. So the last news item that we wanted to talk about today, Ron Gilbert is pretty well known. He was one of the leads in Double Fine Productions.
Mm-hmm. He made all of the old kind of point and click adventure funny ones like Return to Monkey Island and all that. He had some major involvement in kind of forming a genre in early PC gaming. So he's a pretty big name.
Yeah, and he went off on his own. And does he have a name of his studio?
I don't think so. I don't believe he named his studio. He's working on his own stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's working on his own stuff, like Lloyd said, and they are doing a match 3 with RPG type game. Did you have a chance to look at the trailer? What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, it looks interesting. When he left Double Fine, he said he's heading out to do new things. He's going to bore the world with his games, and he said, "I'm going to come up with a game, and it's going to be called Scurvy Scallywags and the Voyage to Discover the Ultimate Sea Shanty." And then everybody laughed because they thought he was joking. But no, this game came out, and it's Scurvy Scallywags, which is kind of like a match 3 RPG kind of game. So. Looks interesting. Not what I was expecting from Ron Gilbert, but it's kind of cool to see him kind of starting new things with his new company. Really looking forward to see what this actually turns into when it actually hits the App Store.
Sounds good. I think that's all we had in the news for today, right?
Yeah, I think so. Let's get into the reviews. Jared, why don't you kick it out or off, or however you want to kick it. I'm not going to say. You can do whatever kickings you want and talk about the game you want to talk about.
All right. So I was playing a little game called Cut the Rope Time Travel. So Cut the Rope Time Travel, surprisingly enough, is a game that is a sequel and to the runaway hit Cut the Rope. And the big thing that this one does is that there are 2 Omnoms. There is Omnom and his ancestor of some sort. So you go through the different levels and you start off and they're super cute. You know, first you have like the Middle Ages and there's an Omnom with like knight looking, and then you go into the Renaissance and he has like a hat on, like you see the famous painters from the Renaissance. And then you have the pirate Omnom, the ancient Egypt Omnom, the Greece Omnom, and the Stone Age Omnom. And they don't really do anything different from normal Omnom. And the main thing that is happening is there are 2 little candies, and you have to feed each one to each Omnom. So in order to beat the level, instead of just getting 1 candy in, you have to get 2. So that's the key difference from this game from regular Cut the Rope. There are 90 levels in it. So that makes 15 levels per age that you go through. There, as often happens in these games, there's a whole bunch of really cool mechanics. There's one where you can like freeze it and move stuff while it's frozen. There's a portal one where you drop it through the portal, and I don't know. Have you ever played Portal?
I have, yes.
Yeah, I mean, lots of people have. It's a very popular game. But there are portals, and some of the things that you play in Portal or Portal 2 directly are similar in the mechanism in order to get them into his mouth. Like, you have to drop it really fast so that it can come out the other side and go straight and not fall. So it comes out really great mechanics. Just lots of new ones. They somehow kept coming up with fresh ideas. And there's one where it's like a rune, and if you hit it, it like flips them around. So you have to flip it around and feed the one Omnom, then flip it around again and feed the other Omnom. And then there's like one that is, I guess it's like a voodoo candy, in that it does whatever the other candy is doing on the screen. And so you're playing it, and you have to figure out what you can do to the bottom one in order to make the top one move into the other Omnom's mouth. And they're just so creative, really imaginative. I personally think that this one is just as good as the original, even if it has a lot less levels at the moment. So go ahead, and if you have already played through your current pile of Cut the Rope games, then this is a great one to add on. If you haven't had any exposure to Cut the Rope, well, then what are you doing with your iOS device? You should go download the first one. However, if you have beat all that, then I say download this one. It's great. It's 99 cents, 90 levels of fun, and if their past history is any indication, you can pretty much guarantee that they're going to continuously come out with levels. In fact, even though, yes, I got all 270 stars on the game, I am leaving it installed on my thing, hoping that I can get some more teams or some more games or levels that I can play through. So, yeah, that's Cut the Rope Time Travel. Get it if you already are a fan of Cut the Rope. If you're not a fan, then don't get it. But I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5 because I really like it. So
awesome, cool. So thanks for that one, Jarrett. I wondered if they'd be able to keep it fresh, because it seems like they kind of figured everything out that they could do with the game in the first one. But it's good to hear that there's some new stuff that makes you want to go pick it up.
Yep.
Cool. All right, let's get into my review. And I'm doing a review for a game called Zoombies, Animales de la Muerte. Really interesting. It's from High Voltage Software. This game was announced, I want to say 3 years ago, and it was supposed to be a Wii U title, or a Wii title, sorry. It was supposed to be part of the Wii eShop, and it never came out, and everybody thought it was dead in the water. I thought it was dead in the water. Turns out that it just showed up one day on the iPad. It was just out of the blue. I'm like, Animales de las Muertes. I remember that game, and totally downloaded it. It's $3 on the App Store, and it's interesting. It's not what I would have thought the game would be. It turns out that it's a I guess a voodoo kind of I don't know, candy skull themed or what, a sugar skull themed line drawing zombie killer, if that makes any sense at all. You basically play a character who's trying to save animals. Day of the Dead, as Steven says in the chat room, which is what I was trying to remember, but I could not remember. You're trying to save animals because you're trying to fill the zoo, but there's a zombie outbreak and they're turning all the animals into zombies, and you don't want that. So the game basically has it's 5 rows where things can come, and you have to draw a line to shoot the zombies. Pretty simple, but you draw a line, and then your whatever weapon that you have, usually you're throwing an axe or shooting fireworks or whatever at it, it follows the line. The zombies start on the right and they move to the left, and so they're moving while your shots are moving or while your throw is moving. So at the start, pretty easy. When you get to the further levels and the different worlds, it gets a little bit confusing. You're timing your weapons coming back and going out and doing all that stuff. But you're basically trying to kill the zombies, and the zombies are trying to eat the animals. If they eat the animals, they turn the animals into a zombie, and then you have more zombies that are running towards you. You're standing basically on the leftmost side of the screen, and if 3 zombies get past you, it's game over. And that's pretty much it. It might sound pretty complicated, just like you said, Jared, in the chat room, but it's actually really easy. So much so that I thought it was going to be like this simple throwaway game, and then it started getting difficult. Still not hard to play, but a lot of things you have to keep kind of going to do it. Each of the levels that you play, and there's 45 levels. Each of them have 5 stars that you can get, and you get them by doing different things. So the first one is always the survivalist thing, where you basically have to beat the level and not let 3 zombies escape. But then there can be a bunch of different other sugar skulls that give you that have different requirements that give you the other stars. So for the first level, there's the Warden badge, don't let any zombies escape. Combo Maker, get a 3-hit combo. Surgeon, hit 2 zombies with 1 path. Or Scorekeeper, get 1,300 points. So those are all pretty easy, but when you get to some of the worlds, like the Safari Adventure, which is the second world, or Arctic Exploration, which is the third one, the skulls are pretty difficult. Like collect 90 coins. So when you kill a zombie, they will sometimes pop out a coin. Getting 90 of them is pretty tough without using some of the coin doublers or other things. There's one for level 3, which is called Goldfinger. You have to turn 6 zombies or zombies to gold. Or Procrastinator, you get 3 close calls. And you're seeing things like Goldfinger turn 3 zombies to gold. And it's like, well, how the hell do I do that? I mean, what do you do? And that's when the especiales and weapons come into play. So the special items, or especiales, I don't speak Spanish, so sorry about the horrible accent. You basically get coins, and then you use your coins to buy these special weapons. So if you want to turn zombies to gold, you get the Midas Touch, which costs 150 coins. And then you put it into one of your slots. When you first start out the game, you only have one slot, so you can only use one special item. But then as you continue, you unlock up to 3, so you can load up 3 special weapons. And it looks like there's I don't know, what is it, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 19 different special items you can get. I've unlocked, I don't know, maybe a third of them. And I'm finding that I'm using kind of the ones that I unlocked early. So the shotgun, the bear trap, and the earthquake. But there's other ones, like there's a coin magnet, which is always active. There's a cannon, which you're basically firing a partially zombified corpse at the other zombies that are coming to blow them apart. There's a blast of Arctic wind will freeze all the zombies. So there's a bunch of other things, but they're all really, really expensive, which makes you have to grind a lot to get these coins. And then there's also special weapons. So you start off with an axe, and your axe basically just throws out, it spins around, hits the animals or the zombies, they explode. Some zombies take more than one hit, but then there are further in the game, there's other animals. Like at first you're killing monkeys, and then you're killing elephants, and elephants take 2 hits unless you use the second weapon, which is a Roman candle, because then it blows it up with 1 hit. And then you get to the point where there's penguins, and the penguins go into a slide, so you can't hit them when they're sliding. You have to hit them when they stop, unless you're using the third weapon, which is called Murder of Crows, which can hit them at any point. But then you get to a turtle zombie, and if it goes in its shell, you can't hit it, so you have to kind of time it. But then you buy the falcon, and then it can hit those ones. And then there's the boulder, which can do rhinos, because if they have a big horn, and if you hit the horn, your attack bounces off. You have to hit them from behind, unless you're using the boulder. And then the last one is the chupacabra, which is for the kangaroos, which is one of the last one, because if you kill a kangaroo, its Joey pops out and then runs at you really fast. But if you hit him with the chupacabra eats both of them. And so you're buying all these weapons, and when you play the levels further in the game, there's multiple types of zombies. It's not just the one thing. So you have to play through it and say, okay, well, there's a lot of kangaroos, and I get huge problems with these kangaroos. So I got to use the chupacabra, even though it's not going to do things for the rhinos and other things. And it's just like, it gets so confusing with all the stuff that's happening. But everything about this game is awesome. From the sounds, from the voiceover, from the gameplay, from the graphics. Like when you first start the game, this zombie monkey jumps out on the screen and then falls over and splits in half, and it's like all his guts are there. And I was just like, oh, this isn't a family-friendly game. This is a little bit more gross, but it's drawn in a great way as well. So anyway, and of course you can buy coins if you don't want to grind. You can also get the coin doubler, which in this game is $2, which is a little bit much for a game that is already $2.99. So I haven't bought the coin doubler, although I'm kind of maybe kicking myself that I didn't do that earlier, because I'm having hard times unlocking all of the weapons now. And there's also costumes in the game, which don't really do anything except give you an achievement if you unlock all the costumes. They just make your character look a little bit different. So anyway, that's Zoombies, Animals de la Muerte. Really awesome game. I'll show you the screen. It's I want to go back. It's just gross and awesome and such fun, and definitely worth picking up if you're looking for a different kind of line drawing game that isn't steering planes to land or moving boats around. If you want something that is a little bit different, this one is definitely different, and it's definitely a lot of fun to play. So do check it out. So Zoombies, Animals de la Muerte, $2.99 on the App Store. I give it a 5 out of 5. It is such a fun game, and I haven't gotten 5 stars on all the levels yet, so I'm going to keep playing until I figure out how to do that, which is probably going to require me to grind a lot to get more coins to buy better weapons and better special weapons and stuff like that. But it is it's a lot of fun, and I definitely recommend it. So do check that one out. Zoombies. All right, Jared, that's gonna about do it, man. Are you gonna go pick up Zoombies right now?
I'm already downloading it.
Oh, you are?
No.
Oh, I thought I'd get you with the fact that it came from High Voltage Software, which was a big name on the Wii. They made the Conduit, which is actually coming to iOS soon, which is kind of cool as well.
No, I mean, it sounds interesting. I've got to play through some backlog, and there are some awesome games coming out. I mean, I'm so excited for Warhammer Quest that's coming out soon. Agricola should be really soon. Mm-hmm. Combo Crew should be really soon. Basically, between now and the end of the month, I could, just be buried in great games, which is a wonderful feeling.
Exactly. All right. Well, that's going to about do it for this episode of the Touch of Gaming podcast. Thanks everybody that came out in the chat room. We had a full house, which was really awesome. Thanks everybody that's subscribing. Head on over to vgpodcast.com and let us know what you think of the show. You can either do that by clicking contact us or by emailing us directly at vgpodcast@gmail.com. You can call our voicemail line, which is area code 505 VG Podcasts, or follow us on Twitter. I'm at Dasby on Twitter. Jared is at the Quacko, or you can follow VG Pod on Twitter as well, which gives you info when we do live shows and when our podcasts are actually posted up on the page as well. Subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher. A whole bunch of other places. I don't want to name them all off now. That's kind of lame. But we do love hearing from you guys. Thanks everybody for subscribing, and we'll talk to you next week. Later, everybody. Bye, Jared.
Bye.
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 Say bye, Jared.
Bye, Jared.